Alright, hello everyone, my name is Shep, welcome back to the Butcher's Circus. Today we are going to be watching a replay between myself and Kragg Main, also known as Jayne Moon, and it's going to be a stress versus stress matchup. So we had done a few matches before this, but we totally surprised each other by both picking stress teams. It wasn't what we were going for. And what I'm going for here is a team that I actually stole from another player named Kalashnikov. Now, I know that's a lot of names, you don't have to care too much about that, but I stole it from him, and the idea is that it is going to do the absolute maximum amount of stress. So to do that, we are going to go for a very weird first move. We are going to drop a command round one, which is going to give me the accuracy I need to hit Kragg's characters. So you're going to see that Grave Robber in the back, very high dodge, 54 dodge. So we're going to go straight for that command, which is going to give both my occultist and my doggy a lot of accuracy. It could be useful on the Abomination as well as the Bellows for the next rounds. And it could also give us, potentially a crit or two, which would be great. So here Kragg goes for a very weird move. I mean, it's not weird. He transformed, which is definitely what he wanted to do, but then slammed my Abomination. Not only does that put him in a position to be slammed, it also makes my Abomination be able to de-transform round 2 and go into a Beast Pile, the Riposte with Blight, which is going to be a lot of value. So that was maybe not the most correct play. The reason I put the Abomination in position 1 is so he doesn't get slammed in the first place. So now you can see the accuracy between both the trinkets. It's giving him 23 accuracy as well as the command, giving him another 20. So even though that's 64 dodge on the Grave Robber, we simply don't care. And we managed to hit both the Ceiling Spaghettis. So right now Kragg's going to do the correct play, which is going to be focusing down my Abomination, because his transformations are what's going to be doing the most amount of stress to his team. So we see like a very unlucky Hans Harry there, only hitting 2 characters out of the 4. I mean, that's exactly why I went for the command. Unfortunately, you can't get lucky every time, and yeah, we just get 2 dodges. I mean, it's understandable. Hans Harry has very low base accuracy. So there was a punish dropped on my Abomination, so that's a pretty big bleed. So he's not feeling too good. Now we get to just de-transform, go for a Beast Pile, do a decent amount of stress, a decent amount of blight, as well as making it so my opponent hurts quite a bit if he does try to keep focusing that Abomination down. And of course, once I click him another time, I don't really care too much if he goes to 0 HP, because once I get that second and last transformation off, his value is pretty much done, because he gets all the stress. So right now, Kragg went for a very risky Panic Darts, because it doesn't have a lot of base accuracy. He hasn't used that command buff, I believe, and this Occultist does have that Monkey Paw, so fortunately we get that crucial dodge. So things are going relatively good for us at the moment. Also having the enemy Abomination in position 4 means that he's not being too useful. He's also taken quite a decent amount of damage and a big amount of stress as well. So things are going relatively good for us at the moment. But there is one concern, one very, very big concern, which is that Flagellant that my opponent has there in the front. It has like the totally balanced trinket, the Gauntlet of Absolution, which you can see it popping up right there. Every time you hit him, he heals 10 stress. My abilities do around 15 stress each, like 14, 15. It's getting reduced by the bolster buff that my opponent has. It's getting reduced by like 15%. So every ability I'm doing, unless I'm getting a crit, or unless it's through horror, I am actually doing a very minimal amount of stress to that character, because, that's totally fair and balanced. So here he goes for a punish. I was hoping it wouldn't do enough damage, considering the Bellow debuffs, the small amount of protection I have, but it did actually, just crit, and that is going to drop my Abomination to 0, and also make it so he's afflicted. So here I had a choice. I could either go for a heal, or I could keep going offensive. My idea was that since the enemy Man-at-Arms doesn't have an action that can actually do damage and deathblow me, I'm gonna drop a Tentacles, which has a lot more value than a heal, which could honestly just roll for 0. And by the start of next round, since I get to go first, I'm going to guard this Abomination. And since my opponent's Abomination is dazed as well, he has to go last, which means he can't just break through the guard with the slam. However, the Affliction foils my plans entirely, so the Irrational Abomination just refuses the guard, which means I'm going to be forced to go for a Bellow. I'm not applying command again just yet, because that would be doubling down. I still have one command buff on each of my characters, so I won't be using that just yet, because I felt like I didn't need that much accuracy. Since, you know, my opponent does have a decent amount of accuracy, but I feel like I'm hitting him just fine at the moment. So here he goes for, honestly, what I think was a very big misplay. He's going to be spending this round on protecting his Abomination instead of, you know, pretty much spending this round on defense instead of punishing my Affliction act out and just getting an early and quick kill on that Abomination, because honestly with a crit or two he could have killed that A-bomb even through a heart attack, because he had a punish to use and he also had a panic darts, and he could have gone for either of those. And as we're gonna see right now, he is gonna drop that Toxin Trickery, which will counter the Masochistic Affliction, because Masochistic is a really bad affliction to have on the Graveyard, because it reduces dodge by 15. So he's gonna use that Toxin Trickery to get that dodge back up. But yeah, there we go. That's gonna be the Ceiling Spaghetti getting that kill. That was quite a good Ceiling Spaghetti, not gonna lie. I honestly don't believe Toxin Trickery was the play, because, I mean, I have so much accuracy anyway. I have 133 accuracy on this Occultist. There's no way I miss. There's no way I miss. So that Man at Arms goes for a guard, which is maybe the most useless move he could have done, because the protection is definitely not gonna help. Though that was an act out. That was definitely an act out. But yeah, quite a weird move. Here I'm just gonna transform, do the extra stress, the extra horror, amazing, 40 horror on that Abomination, and also drop him to 0, because I noticed that between the bleed and regen, he would take 0 damage, so he wouldn't take the extra stress from the horror. So if I just do a rage, he is gonna take way more stress, because he's gonna have that test or debuff applied. So that A-bomb is not feeling too good. He is most definitely not feeling too good. Now here he goes for a heal, and that's a very reasonable play, but it's gonna give me a choice as to what I want to do. I could just drop another rage, and then the Abomination would probably be dead, unless the enemy Flagellant goes for a redeem heal. So there's gonna be a lot of angles to this. The other thing I was thinking was just dropping the Tentacles again. It would do a lot of damage, and you know, with a few moves he would pretty much die from just collateral damage. But what I decided was to probably go for a D-Transform Bile, because it would do a lot of damage to both characters, and potentially still kill that Abomination after a Hound's Harry and a Beast Bile without having to directly focus him down. But by A-bomb decides otherwise, so that's 2 act-outs in 2 turns. So he decides otherwise and just goes for a Rake, which, provided, isn't the worst move, but it did heal that Flagellant for 5 stress, because, again, Gauntlet of Absolution, and it didn't really do too much to the Man at Arms armor. I mean, the damage was pretty much unnoticeable, so it wasn't too good. I mean, let's address the elephant in the room. I'm up 3 characters pretty much. I mean, the Man at Arms, the Occultist, and the Houndmaster are pretty much unhindered. They have taken like 0 damage, just the damage from the transformations, and my A-bomb has already done his 2 transformations, so his worth is pretty much done, and my opponent pretty much only has 1 character remaining. You know, because that Abomination is pretty much dead. That Man at Arms is going to be dead very soon, and the Flagellant is, you know, he's pretty much the 1 character that's doing relatively fine, because he's only at 40 stress for now, and he still has those heals, which means that honestly the damage I've done to him won't matter too much, because he can just heal it away. So this is looking like a really good situation for me at this moment. So here I'm looking at those Bleed Blights. And why am I looking at those Bleed Blights? Because that Flagellant is taking 11 damage, and I calculate in my mind, well, I have 2 Bellow debuffs, he has 40% protection. It is very unlikely that I do even 1 point of damage. Of course, Houndsary is gonna bleed, so it's gonna do 2 points of damage, and I don't want him to drop to Death's Door, because the Flagellant gets stronger if he's at Death's Door, and also heals the other characters. I didn't want that to happen, so I did the math, and I figured out, well, even if I go for a Houndsary right now, he isn't gonna drop to 0, he's gonna drop to 1 HP, most likely. So that's what I went for there, and it worked out quite well, I would say. So this Abomination, I could go for a heal right now, but he has a total of 16 DOT stacked on him. I think we're gonna check the values in just a bit. So that was way too much DOT being stacked on my Abomination, so I just decide not to go for that heal and go for instead the most stress dealing move, which is going to be this pull. The Fleshbound Grimoire, that trinket, gives you an extra 33% horror duration, so that's going to be 10 horror for 4 rounds. That is a lot of stress. Imagine if that pull crits, you're doing 50 stress. Yeah, plus the damage from the crit, plus the stress from the crit and the damage. So it is totally insane. So my Abomination stays alive for a little longer. I mean, he's definitely dead, so we can pretty much count him out. But the enemy Abomination is dead now. Kind of a weird move by Kragg Main not to try and heal that A-bomb by like clicking the Flagellant. He wasn't dazed, so he could have gone for that. Maybe he forgot that he wasn't dazed or something. I feel like that would have been a good play to at least keep the Flagellant alive for a while longer. But yeah, now we see that Redeem. Look at that heal. 30 on himself, and like, how much was that on the Man-at-Arms? I don't even know. But yeah, it was a lot. Of course, once he gets a heart attack, that's all gonna go away. But yeah, now I am most likely just going to click my Houndmaster, and the thing is, that's actually a dodge, an 87% dodge. Well, isn't that wonderful? Well, that Man-at-Arms is dead because he's gonna take enough stress to fall to Death's Door, and then he's gonna have the horror stacked on him, so he's pretty much dead. Like, this was a 4v1 at one point, because, I mean, the Man-at-Arms, he's gonna, get off another Bellow, and then he's gonna perish entirely. I'm just gonna do a Bellow and a Houndsary, and that Man-at-Arms is just gone. But actually, the Man-at-Arms being alive was quite good for me, because he did manage to afflict that Flagellant, so that could come in handy. But yeah, he is gonna drop another Bellow. Fortunately, he misses both my backliners, so they're still not afflicted, which I'm very happy about. I'm definitely very happy about that. But my Man-at-Arms is finally afflicted, so that's affliction number 1 at round 6. So quite a decent situation for me. A little bit more stress being added to that Flagellant from the act out. That is really good, because that stress doesn't get countered by the Gauntlet of Absolution. So that's like, instead of being like a little extra stress on top, that's that is a huge amount of stress being added. That is just great. So that's going to be a punish on my Man-at-Arms. That Flagellant is going to be slowly working him down. And now with that heart attack, this is going to be officially a 1v3. So, you know, 3 characters versus 1. I mean, if you were to look at this from a base game perspective, or, you know, pretty much in the perspective of every character besides a Flagellant, you'd say like, okay, this is a slam dunk. Shepard's characters are pretty much at, well, they're all at full HP. The Houndmaster isn't even afflicted yet. So this has to be a slam dunk, right? Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a lot closer than it looks like right now. So that Flagellant, the thing is, Rapturous is an interesting affliction, because it's not a purely bad affliction. It's probably the best affliction you can get. It doesn't have a pass chance. It does have a chance of doing act outs, you know, going act out with some move. But the thing is, it's always an offensive move, and it's always going to be an offensive move because he no longer has another character to heal, and going for offensive moves right now is pretty much good on any character, so it's really not going to help me that much, his affliction. And it's also giving him extra damage. Yeah, his affliction gives him extra damage. I believe it also gives him extra crit chance. It is kind of brutal. So my character as well, here come the affliction, so that's going to be a lick wounds. Probably entirely useless. You know, instead of doing a Houndsary, I really wanted that Houndsary to do that stress, but you know, the afflictions have rolled in. We're gonna have to live with them, essentially. So now here my opponent has a choice. Does he want to go Punish or does he want to go Exsanguinate? So he still has like maximum healing skill, so an Exsanguinate right now is gonna heal him for a lot. What he was scared of was, look at that heal. Look at that heal and the damage from the bleed, yeah. What he was scared of was me just doing enough damage with my doggy and then just going for a big heart attack, so kind of a safe play of him to go for that. So my Occultist passes, my Houndmaster passes because that's a pass. The Man-at-Arms is a little less extra stress to him, and now this is gonna be quite a big misplay by me potentially, because I should have been dropping a bolster now. I know round 8 bolster is a very big meme, but I should have been dropping a bolster now because it would have reduced the stress taken and it would have increased my dodge, which is gonna be quite good. Doing 3 stress is useless, like it is nothing short of useless, and the damage debuff is, it's not doing a lot because the Flagellant does bleeds, like he absolutely doesn't care. The Man-at-Arms is not a tool for the job if you want to take down the Flagellant. So that's going to be another battle of, yeah, we're doing 3 stress, it's, that's just the way it is. So, I mean, that Flagellant still has a lot of stress on him, and my characters are all pretty much alive. This is still a 3v1, it's still fine. But yeah, even with the Weakening Curse, I'm only doing 21 stress, minus 10, so 11 stress with an ability that should be doing like 30 to 40. So that's going to be an act out from the Houndmaster, making sure my Man-at-Arms goes to 0 HP because he doesn't want to be the only one at the saw. Okay, I guess. And now here I kind of have a choice. I could go for a Guard Dog and start buffing up my dodge, which I definitely feel like is an idea. I could go for a Houndsary, and a crit would actually do enough stress, but I'm not sure if I'm going to rely on that. We do crit, but we crit on the wrong character, unfortunately, so we're gonna do some very nice stress onto that Flagellant anyway. 7 stress, I mean, it's better than nothing, but the Flagellant does get to stay alive. So he's gonna go for a Punish. That's a crit. That's a very important crit because doing more stress right now is really good for my opponent, of course, because my characters might die from stress other than just dying from the Death Sword checks. I mean, another crit like that and the doggy is completely gone. So the Houndmaster goes for a guard. He's like, come on, Shep, you should have guarded. You know you should have guarded to get that extra dodge. But he guards the wrong character, so I'm not too happy about that, but I guess I have to live with it. And now with the Occultist, I have a chance, you know, there's an idea of going for a heal right now, but honestly, between the bleed and the damage from the Punish, it's just gonna do more stress onto my characters. I need to kill that Flagellant. However, he still has, how many Exsanguinate heals does he have? He has 3 base, and I believe he has only used 1 Exsanguinate heal, which means he might have another 2. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure if he has 2 Exsanguinate heals left, or if he only has 1. So he has minus 100% damage right now, but that's being cancelled out by being the last hero standing, and also Death Sword is a buff for the Flagellant, and also he's Rapturous, so he's definitely gonna do damage, don't elude yourselves. So he's definitely gonna go for a heal here. He doesn't want to suffer an unnecessary Death Sword, and that's gonna be a 25% chance kill. Wonderful, we love to see those, don't we? And yeah, this isn't looking too good anymore, is it? So the Houndmaster is still not chilling, but he's alive. He's alive for sure. He's still taking some bleed, but here we go. We're gonna go for those dodges. We have 65 dodge on the Houndmaster right now. We could have 75 with the bolster buff. It's as I was saying, that was like the pretty big mistake I did. Using that Man-at-Arms, because going for Bellows isn't doing too much stress, so I could have been getting a little extra dodge, which would have been quite nice. So my opponent right now, okay, that's the first Affliction act out we've gotten. Would have guessed, it hit the right character. It just burst through the 65 dodge with a crit. I believe I talked with my opponent after the match. Yeah, you can see he even and the pass even sent me a message like, wow. So he got like a 30% hit chance, like just went for a crit, and then I immediately passed because the occultist, he's not being the MVP right now. He's not being the MVP we need. But he does have 40 dodge. He does have that monkey spawn. He is fearful, so he's getting an extra 10 dodge from that. So he has a lot of dodge. My opponent has about a 70% hit chance every time, maybe a little lower, maybe like a 67, something like that. But every time he hits, holy shit, does it hurt! Yeah, holy shit, does it hurt! So I'm not gonna start healing just yet. I'm gonna have to get through his Content of Absolution. So I'm doing 11 stress each attack. Keep in mind I have like 20% crit chance and I haven't been getting any crits on him. But yeah, if I do get a crit eventually, I'm gonna do like pretty much double the stress, but well... speaking of passing, there goes the occultist again. That's a 12% chance every time you act. Fearful is the highest pass chance out of all of them. So he's gonna go for a punish there. Ouch. Ouch, that's a big ouch. So I dropped to 0, and I am at 173 stress. So what do I decide? Well, I'm not gonna go for a heal right now, because I'm not gonna suffer a heart attack immediately, so that's not what I'm gonna go for. My idea here was, if he hits me right now, it's not that bad, because I won't have a heart attack. So he's gonna go for that final exsanguinate. He lands somehow, he crit heals himself somehow again, and heals himself for like full stress, which could also be very, very important, because I mean I'm doing laughable amounts of stress. Look at this, it's ridiculous. So I just drop another weakening curse, like just completely shocked with the situation, because this was a pretty much an official 4v1 at one point. And there goes a punish. I'm at 17, 17 stress being dealt. I'm gonna remember that number. And right now I'm gonna go for a heal. I roll for a 21, which is really good. And the thing is, if my opponent goes for a punish right now, I'm gonna take enough stress to have a heart attack, and then I'm gonna have the heart attack recovery. The heart attack recovery buff / debuff, because he actually gets a crit, by the way. That's gonna heal stress again. Once you have a heart attack, if you get out of that store, you actually take minus 15% stress, which is really good. It's really good. It can be quite useful. We just drop immediately to that store, and we're not gonna go for a heal. We're gonna go for the same strategy. We're gonna drop another weakening curse, and as you can see, he has 12 stress to go until a heart attack, and because of the crit he just got, which healed like 4 stress, that means I'm not gonna be able to do enough stress with 1 weakening curse. And yeah, here goes the pass. Once again, there goes the pass, and now a punish is gonna do enough stress to drop me to the store, or is it? Or is it gonna do enough stress? No, it isn't. We are gonna be able to dodge that attack, heal for a grand total of 13, which isn't as much as we wanted. And here, that smart bastard, he goes for a heal. I mean, he goes for a pass, because if he had hit me immediately, I would have had a heart attack, and we would be back on the same thing. But since he didn't hit me immediately, now he would have pretty much a confirmed chance of killing me, but I guess not, because we managed to dodge again, and now we go for a heal. I mean, this match is a huge roller coaster. You can imagine my mind going all over the place. So we pretty much dodged three hits in a row, and oh, that's the crit. That's the crit we've been dying to get. But unfortunately, it's doing extra stress, which is really good. But he was already going to take enough stress, so it wasn't the perfect time to get it. If we get another one, we might just win the match. So he drops the punish now, so that punish is going to drop me to 0. Keep in mind that, same strategy. I'm not going to heal now. I'm going to go for a weakening curse. I wish I'd go for a weakening curse. We unfortunately pass. Uzlo is more righteous, doesn't hit himself, unfortunately for us. That's going to be a hit on my occultist. So now the plan is to go for a heal. We crit, but we only heal for 4. we only heal for 4, so a punish is very likely gonna do enough damage. And is he gonna go for a punish? Yes, he is. He does enough damage. He drops us to 100 stress. And he takes the victory royale. At death's door, 173 stress and no heals remaining. And that's gonna be the defeat. Yeah, that was totally insane. Well, I hope you guys enjoy that. I definitely didn't. No, I'm just kidding. I definitely did. That was a crazy match. I mean, I had to stop playing after that because my heart was just racing all over the place. But I mean, that RNG, man, that RNG was just insane. That Flagellant taking home the 4v1. My opponent even told me his name is Too Holy to Die. So I guess the name, the Flagellant stood true by his name. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and I'll see you again another time. Cheers.